What's going on, guys? It's Savius again, back with another video for Heroic Blackrock Foundry. This time it's Hans and Franz, these two giant twin orcs or whatever. Honestly, going into this fight, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know a whole hell of a lot about it, but honestly, there's not a lot that you really need to know. This isn't the cleanest of kills either, I'll go ahead and say that, and there's going to be a little bit of lag in the video as well. But these bosses, they share a health pool, and they have a couple of, or a few abilities actually. The biggest and most dangerous ability you saw was cast right there. It's called Crippling Suplex, or he just cast it. And what they do is one of the bosses will pick up one of the tanks, and he'll slam them into each other basically, and they do damage to each other based on total health. So whenever that's cast, they'll need a CD. The tank that's picked up can't use anything, so he'll need an external CD. The other tank can use a personal cooldown because obviously he's free to do so. As far as raid damage is concerned, the main damaging mechanic here is, well, one would be the environment. You see these little searing plates moving right now. You kind of just go back and forth to avoid those. You're on this big conveyor belt. Every so often, at a certain percent of health, one of the bosses will jump out of the room and activate the conveyor belt, and one of two abilities will happen. One, either you'll see those little searing plates that'll roll on the conveyor belt and move along. The other one you'll see, I think in a bit, it's called pulverized or something like that, where these little stamping plates will smash down on parts of the conveyor belt, and you'll know where they're going to land because the part will be lit up where it's going to hit. The other ability is, I'm not exactly sure the name of it actually, but he does this. Oh, it's called Body Slam. He'll jump to a random ranged member, and then he'll jump back to the tank, and every time he lands after a jump, he'll do something called Aftershock, and that'll do a bit of physical damage to the entire raid. And the person or persons actually, because if people are grouped up, they get hit by the body slam, they'll get a debuff called Shattered Vertebrae, which increases the physical damage that they take. Now the tank and the targeted member cannot avoid this, so the tanks have to swap whenever they get hit by a body slam because of the increased physical damage from Shattered Vertebrae. The tank the bosses increase their damage over the course of the fight. They have a rage bar, so the more damage they take, the lower their health is, the more damage they deal, and also their abilities are sort of empowered in a sense. Body Slam will have more jumps. Skullcracker, an ability that I didn't cover yet, where he throws a hammer at a random raid member and does a bit of physical damage. He'll throw more hammers, and like I said, Body Slam will have more jumps, and then everything else will just do more damage overall. You saw the little pulverized thing, and pretty much all you do is you just move to avoid getting pressed by those. It's really easy. You don't have to stand on the moving parts of the conveyor belt. You can actually stand in between, and you won't be moved at all. There was a lot more movement in our first kill that was necessary. We have since killed this boss again, and honestly, I literally stood in one place the entire fight, and I just moved left, right to avoid things. So it's really that easy. I don't know if it'll be that simple on Mythic, and I kind of hope that it's not, because that's entirely too easy. But on Heroic and presumably Normal, there's just not a lot of moving to be necessary. To be honest though, comparing this kill and our second kill, there's a bit of RNG involved as far as the pulverized phase goes, because you can get, like right here, you'll notice like there will be sometimes 3 lit up, and obviously if I'm standing here and both sides are lit up, I obviously have to move to another section. But again, that's relatively easy. You just move along the non-moving part and you move to a safe area. But either way, the movement for Normal and Heroic is very, very minimal. As I said, if I didn't, the bosses share a health pool. You see they're already relatively low. And again, it wasn't the cleanest of kills also, but there's not a whole hell of a lot that goes on, man. It was I can't say the fight was very interesting. Comical, I guess, a little bit, because these guys are like supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger clones, and they have a lot of his quotes and stuff in their dialogue and everything, and they're just sort of these meatheads. But as far as the encounter goes itself, there's just not a whole hell of a lot. There's heavy tank damage, physical damage for the most part that's done to the raid, but nothing that is massively threatening. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. That's Hans and Franz. That's the long and short of it, I guess. So it's gonna, you know, let it play itself out to the end. Gonna go ahead and say thanks for watching the video, man. Hopefully it helps. But again, really not much to this fight. But hopefully when you do it, you have an easy time of it, and you just enjoy it, and understand that you don't have to move as much as we did here. You just sort of just move back and forth and avoid things. But yeah, once again, I'm Savius. Hope this video helps you handle these fights, this boss, really easily, man. And just thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.